All right, we are rolling. So
Awesome.
welcome, Jordan, to you're the first person I'm interviewing. So congratulations, you have a new position as the Acapella Club president. Just kind of right off the bat, what are some of the goals that you have for this year as president of the Acapella Club?
Yeah, for sure. So this year is the 30th anniversary of the Acapella Club, so we really want to celebrate that. So some of the things we'll be doing is first we'll continue the album that we've been releasing since 2014. Just keep that rolling. Best of Your Acapella Club, and in that group's audition as the club, and then we'll select some of the best songs that we have from the two semesters, record them, and then put them in that album. And some people recorded it on their own and submitted as well. But it's just a really great way of kind of showing what everyone's doing. So we'll carry on that tradition. And this year, we're also going to try to do for the first time a Christmas EP, which is like a mini album. So those are the two big things to start off with.
Nice. And just kind of kind of going in tandem with that. So there are a lot, the Acapella Club. I don't know how it's one of the bigger clubs on campus. I don't know if it's the biggest. But so there are lots of members of the club, but there's also lots of people who come and support who come and support, the other groups. So what things can members of the club and non-members do to help you accomplish these goals on making these things kind of the best that they can be?
Yeah, for sure. Um, so one of the things is that we have concerts. We have three concerts every semester. The first one we do is called the Care Week concert, where we are raising money for charity of some kind that we vote on, and so that's always a good way to get a little taste of what we'll be doing, and it's a good way of if you have friends who are like acapella or think they might like it, but they don't want to have a huge commitment financially initially if they're not sure. It's
Yeah.
a good way just to see all the different groups and hear a little taste of what they have to offer. And then later on, we have the jam and the sing and shout. And the sing and shout we also do at some of the other clubs, which is really cool, like beatboxing. There's been talk maybe the hip hop club if they're open to that. We'll see what happens down the road. But
Yeah.
just doing some things with other clubs and getting to know the community and share our talents. And by coming and supporting those, not only do you get to enjoy the music, but you also can help support us a bit financially so we can accomplish the rest of our goals. And one of those I didn't mention, but I should, is for the 30th year anniversary, we're trying to make a music video as well.
All
So
right.
that's
I
really exciting.
remember I remember you mentioning that in one of the presidency Zoom calls. Um
Yeah,
so I don't know, are we allowed to talk about the new sound system?
we can talk about the new sound system. Yeah,
Awesome. So, just spoiler alert. Yeah, we just purchased a new sound system that is kind of Jordan, could you kind of talk about like what that means as far as like the kind of outreach that we'll be able to do, or like how, why this is such a big deal that we're doing this?
yeah, for sure. So to start off, we used to go through BYUAV, which was really great. They provided really good service and technicians to help us run everything. But unfortunately, rates started to increase, and we used to have a 50% subsidy, and that went away. And so we just wouldn't be able to do sound anymore. So we started off at the end of COVID, and we bought with some of the funds we'd accrued enough so we can have the mixer and the mics and the cables we needed. But that was dependent upon the varsity sound system that was already built in, which meant that all of our concerts had to be in the varsity theater, which it's a nice place, but it has, a limited seating. So, at first it was okay because, we were just getting back from COVID. People weren't coming out to concerts as much. But now it's really started to fill up. And then the Care Week concert, we started having to move some of the groups that were sitting in the back out so more people could come, which is really great. I'm excited people are there. But obviously, we want to be able to have more people come and be able to fit everyone. So now we can go to other places. And so that'll be really, really neat. And we can
Awesome.
also schedule when we want to be there as well. Because currently, if somebody else is already taking the varsity, we can have a concert that day. So now we can pick what days we want, find a bigger venue that works for us.
That's phenomenal because I remember we were kind of it we kind of felt like we were all kind of painted into a box last year just
Yeah,
because like everyone wants to use the varsity, because it is a good venue. And so
it is.
that's
Yeah,
something that, yeah, so that's awesome that we have this way to branch out and have less less limitations on on what and how we can perform.
for sure.
So last question.
Yeah.
You were the director of Familiar Ring for several years already, which is, if I'm not
Uh,
mistaken, it's, oh, you were not the
I wasn't
director?
actually. No, 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 no. I just was the representative for administrative things, and I took care of the website and the funds. But
Oh,
I
okay.
never directed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you still had some like administrative responsibilities
for
at
sure.
in Familiar Ring, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the longest running auditioned group on campus?
Longest running edition club. Yeah, excluding Vocal
Yeah.
Point and Noteworthy. Yep.
Excluding, yeah. So, so how is the experience of kind of running that, running stuff with Familiar Ring? How has that prepared you for, for your presidency position now?
Yeah, for sure. I I don't know. I always start off accidentally getting involved places, usually because I'm an accountant. For those of you who don't know, so I'm always wondering how are we paying for things and when are the due dates. And I ask enough questions, and the people in charge usually don't know, and then they're like, "Hey, we have a position for you." So that's where I started off with Familiaring. They made a position for me that I'm still holding. I'm the electronic and financial asset manager.
Hmm. Yeah. And
They
kind
tried
of,
to make something that sounded really good on a resume.
well, now you can add club president to your resume, and just kind of,
Yes.
kind of a branch off of this question. So what are some things that have kind of come up? Like, we haven't really started much yet as far as the, as because obviously the school year hasn't started. What are some of the challenges that you maybe did not that you were not able to account for, when you were first put in as club president? What are some of the challenges that you've had to face already?
Yeah, I mean, finding people was the first challenge, right? Because we made a new position, which I'm very grateful you are able to fill, VP of social media. We really needed somebody to fill that role. And we just had a number of people graduate as well, or not being able to function in their current office, people who are still in the club, but just not able to serve anymore. And so trying to find people, especially in the middle of the summer, is not always the easiest thing because, as you know, Evan, it takes a lot of time prior to the semester starting to really get everything where you need it to be in order to make the semester run well. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's been
after,
a lot of running
yeah, with
around.
my other conversations with you, I've noticed that, like, it's a lot harder than just saying, "Hey, who out there is okay doing this?" Because no one's gonna talk. It's a
No,
miracle that, that I found, someone for the communications,
yes.
BVP of communications. Um, so yeah. Well, thank you so much for, thank you for so much for letting me interview you. This is, we're gonna, I'm excited to do the rest of these, really see kind of how everything clicks, and and hopefully come to our concerts, support us in the music video, come to auditions. That we have, there's a group for everyone. So,
Listen to the music, even if you don't feel like you can sing. I guarantee you can come to Audacity or come to the auditions. But even just listening to our music really helps, and we love sharing what we have to offer.
all right, thank you so much, Jordan. Have a lovely day, and
Thank you, Evan.
I'll see you at the beginning of the semester.
Sounds good. All right.
All right,
See you guys.
goodbye.